Hi everyone, thank you for joining me for another video using the Santa Lane Limited Edition Christmas Kit by Spellbinders. Today's cards are quick and easy, perfect for any last-minute cards that you may need before the big day arrives. The main focus for these cards is the beautiful clear stamp that has been included in this kit. I selected the pattern paper that I was going to use from Santa Lane Paper Pad. I chose 3 different designs which were die cut with the A2 matting basics. For the first card, I'm going to be layering this pretty green wood background panel onto a larger one. The deer and sentiment are stamped with Versamark ink at the same time and coated with gold embossing powder. Because the patterned paper is not as thick as cardstock, extra care needs to be taken when heat embossing it. My heat tool has 2 settings, so I have it set on the low one, which is going to take a little bit longer to melt the embossing powder, but it will also help minimize warping. The heat is applied to both the front and the back of the panel. Panels are stamped and embossed for each card at the same time. The only thing I do is change up the sentiment. For the second pair of cards, I'm just using the 1 panel of patterned paper for both of them. The stamp set also includes a sweet little bow, and so when all of the deer are embossed, I'm going to go back and add that detail in. Once again, I just want to mention that the paper is thinner than cardstock and it is prone to warping when heat is applied to it. If you do not have a lower heat setting on your heat tool, you can apply the heat in spurts, allowing it to cool down for a few seconds between applications. Even using the lower heat setting, I still had a little bit of warping. To flatten out these embossed panels, I adhered them to black sheet foam, and then I put some weight on them and left them for about an hour. I was already planning to foam mount my panels, but the little bit of warping that I did have was taken care of through this process. And when I was ready to come back to my project, the excess foam was trimmed off with large shears. The larger blade allows long cuts to be made, ensuring that that foam edge is going to be smooth and not ragged. Gold foil cardstock found in the kit was cut slightly larger than the small panel, and the panel was mounted on it. The A2 size card bases that were provided in the kit are being matted with another piece of the gold foil cardstock. This panel is slightly larger than the floral pattern paper that will be mounted on top of it. And then these gorgeous floral panels are adhered that had been previously die cut with a rectangular die from A2 matting basics. The narrow gold reveal looks just beautiful against this floral design. I'm going to be using the puffy sticker sentiments found in the kit for my main and secondary sentiment. Before I adhere my small panel to the card, I'm able to figure out the position of my main sentiment. The acetate backing that was used to mount these stickers makes this super easy. When I transfer my sticker to the card, I do not apply any pressure on it until I get it lined up just the way I want it. I fiddle around with that main sentiment because I want to make room for the secondary sentiment right underneath it. When the stickers are in place, I apply some pressure to them, and then the small panel is centered underneath them and mounted. For the second card, the secondary sentiment is going to sit above the main sentiment. I make sure that there's enough room to tuck in that secondary sentiment so it'll sit right above the UGS in hugs. The last pair of cards just have the 1 patterned paper panel, so I'm going to double mat them. The patterned paper is adhered to the gold foil cardstock and then onto a black mat. And then on goes this double matted panel onto the card base. I'm using the card bases in portrait orientation, so they will be side folding. I love that there are so many aspects of this kit where there's 2 of everything. Under these circumstances, really, if you're going to make one card, you might as well make the second one. There's hardly any additional time required. I want to add a little bit of dimension to this card front, and so I've pulled out these spectacular bows from the die cut shapes. They're going to be popped up with the foam squares that are provided in the kit. And these are Christmas cards, and that's pretty much a license for me to ramp up the sparkle and shine. Each of the bows is given a thin coating of Nuvo Glitter Drops White Blizzard. When White Blizzard dries, it is clear, leaving this spectacular sparkle effect. I'm going to finish up all of these cards with these gorgeous embellishments. These are also included in the kit, and they are my absolute favorite. They have this beautiful crosshatch texture to them, and they look frosted. For these 2 cards, the sentiment will be highlighted with the red crystals. I probably didn't need to take this next step, but I'm always a little bit cautious with adhesive back gems. These gems are definitely heavier than the adhesive backed paper stickers, and I have found that they can sometimes get easily knocked off. I think maybe because the surface area where the adhesive is quite small. So adding in a little bit of glue adds some insurance to make sure they're going to stay exactly where they should be. The second pair of cards will be wrapped up with several of the green gems. It makes it so easy to create cards when everything has been coordinated to work together. And that wraps up these super quick and easy cards featuring the clear stamp from the Santa Lane Christmas card making kit. If you haven't seen the unboxing video and want to know everything that's in this kit, it's available for viewing both on YouTube and my blog at bonniecarolee.com. And if you haven't seen my first video using this kit, it focuses on using the die cut shapes and sentiments to create all kinds of Christmas tags. Thank you so much for joining me, and as always, I appreciate your visit.